ban on forward-facing sonar for the BFLs. I'm so lost in all this. I can't keep up anymore because there's so many videos out there. I can't tell if the other day it was actually true or it was just being talked about. I know it's being talked about. I've talked to the tournament directors. I really wasn't talking to them about the BFLs. It was more or less when we got the survey about the Toyota series. I haven't fished a BFL in a couple of years for a reason or two. But I definitely got the survey for the Toyota series. So I called them up because I was questioning. I had one little question about if they were going to ban it like half a day or the whole day and something like that and whatever. And I just kind of wanted to get a pulse of what they were really thinking and stuff like that. So I did talk to some people up there at MLF. Now, I'll say this because I find a lot of this stuff intriguing for a lot of reasons. Now, first of all, I'll get this out of the way. Do I care if they get rid of it? No, I don't. I don't really care from a standpoint of I'm not the guy that I haven't quit fishing anything because forward-facing sonar has come along, nor would I stop fishing if they got rid of it. Nor does it impact if I would get one or not. And I want to make this very clear about this. I don't care if they banned it in every single tournament I ever fish from here on out. I will have one on my boat. Like, there are times I love fishing with it. There are times I don't use it. Like, I've been doing this for so long, man. I don't care. I can do without it. If you want to fish tournaments, whatever the tournament sets or rules are, let's go follow them. I'm a tournament fisherman. Like, if you're so worried about this one piece of equipment that you can't go fish a tournament with or without it, I would say there's the problem. And so, yeah, I find it interesting on both sides of this to where, and it's not like I'm not taking a stand on it. Like I said, dude, I fish. I've just been a fisherman my entire life. This isn't going to change that or not. And let me tell you something. This doesn't. Money, like actual money that you have to pay up in a tournament for entry fees and money you actually win, that makes me fish a tournament or not whether or not I can use this. So I just want to be clear about this. Now, I do want to say this. That's for me. Why are they making this decision? Well, a lot of people think it's because it's me. Everything should be about me. Let me rephrase that. You. Right? You and your little pity party about everything. Everything should revolve around you, right? That's what you think. That's what every single decision you make is like, it's all about me, right? So there's so many other factors involved, and they're going to get into money here. It's always about a little bit about money, but not probably what you think. Look, it's real simple, guys. They're not doing this because they're worried about any other factor you might think. They have a business to run, and if it starts affecting their business, they need to make changes. Every single business in America, if it wants to stay afloat, does the same thing. They're just kind of going out there and asking people's opinions. They want to get a pulse of what people say, which is not a very good pulse because fishermen are crazy and they talk about and they're like, oh, I'm never going to do this again, or I'm going to do that, or whatever they do. I can't tell you if you surveyed people, because we've been doing it forever in Texas. They'll ask people if they're going to fish this tournament, and they'll ask, and like 2,000 people say they're going to come to a tournament, and then like 75 people show up, right? This goes on all the time. So I wouldn't trust anything any of these fishermen ever say because of that reason. Oh, I'm never going to show up again. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. That's always been the case. So it's very hard to figure out what they're going to do because most of them like to talk a lot more. They talk way more than they actually fish. And so I have no problem getting on here because I have spent 20 years of my life putting my money where my mouth is. I will get out there and fish all these tournaments. I always have. I will not stop just because whether they ban it or don't ban it next year. That is the least of my concern. Now, why are they doing this? They are doing it, specifically MLF, because they have co-anglers. Now, you can beat around the bush all you want to. I'll stay real quick on this. There is no doubt there is a massive disadvantage for the co-angler. Now, co-anglers are always put in bad situations all the time. Anyways, there's always disadvantages in fishing. We get all that. I'm here to tell you, I've used LiveScope forever. Even when we fish team tournaments, if you're even you can be in the front of the boat looking at everything, and it's still a disadvantage to you if you're not running the trolling motor. So imagine someone who's not looking at any of that in the back. Now, there's gonna be people go, oh, I live scoped all day long, and my co-angler did this, and my co-angler did that. Yeah, I get that. Like, I can live scope in 3 foot of water, and I can live scope in 300 foot of water. Everyone can. So yes, obviously you can still do good even if someone's live scoping. The problem is when you get out there in the abyss and you do all that stuff, and unless they're on bottom, the co-angler basically has zero chance to catch a fish all day. Maybe one. Yeah, he caught one. Okay. It doesn't matter what you think or what the tournament director thinks or anything. They go, it matters about the fact if that co-angler feels he has zero shot, and most of them do, and I agree with them that they don't, that they're like, okay, well, you can tell me I have a shot, but I don't feel like I am. I'm not coming back. I'm not going to come fishing anymore. And that's becoming more of a reality. And for them to have tournaments, they need co-anglers. Remember, it's half their business. From the BFLs, from the Toyota Series, it's half their guys. So I know you think it's all about you and the boater and everything else like that, but that's the way they have it set up. And so they're not catering to co-anglers. They're not trying to cater to them. They're just looking out for them. And if less of them start showing up, there's going to be less spots available for us boaters to fish. Now, it is what it is. That co-anglers account for half those people. They account for half of them when I worked for Costa. They should account for half of them when I work for Strike King right now. And when they do business plans, you count them in because they are a potential buyer. And they are part of our fishing community. So yes, they do matter, whether you like them or not. I joke about that, but I'm just saying they matter. And I could never, I try to keep it as real as possible. And I try never to like beat around the bush. There's no way I could tell a co-angler, they're like, oh yeah, man, you got just as good a shot as someone else, even if he goes in live scopes. No way. Now I've gotten into it a lot of times with some co-anglers when I sight fish. And I'm like, hey, look, man, a lot of people don't like it when I sight fish. And I'm like, I can't tell you how many, there's guys on here that will comment like, yeah, I've won tournaments while Todd sight fished. There's a reason for that. I'm up usually in 5 foot of water or less. And usually where I sight fish, it's because fish want to come there. Like they're all coming to where I sight fish. All the fish in the lake. None of them are out deep. They're all coming up shallow. And guys usually smash on them when I sight fish. The guys that really actually fish, not the guys that pout. It's a totally different thing. And sometimes the one style of fishing I do that's the easiest to catch fish behind me, sometimes guys zero behind me. I mean, I get that part, but they have a chance. I'm telling you right now, from what I've seen with live scope, sometimes I have zero chance out there. If you're going to go out there and do some of that stuff and they're not on bottom, and it's tough. So they need to figure this out. I don't think it's a bad deal either way. And I'll go into this, and I'm going to go into this more in depth in other videos. On low rents and Garmin and all that side, I think them worrying about whether or not they ban it in tournaments is irrelevant. I don't think they should ever care about that. Now, I don't run their companies, but I'm just telling you, I don't think so. Guys are going to get it if they want it or not. I don't care if they ban it for every single tournament. It's not coming off my boat. I love using it. It's fun at times. It's fun a lot of the times. I'm saying, but I like to fish without it sometimes. So it doesn't matter to me. But yeah, just because they ban it doesn't mean I'm not going to have it on my boat. I didn't necessarily get it for tournament fishing. I mean, I am a tournament fisherman, so I got it. But I mean, it's not like I don't use it when I'm not tournament fishing. I use it all the time. And even like my buddy said, there's no way I'll ever get rid of it if I want to go crappie fishing. So there's that. Secondly, and maybe there's some guys out there that only fish BFLs and don't fish another tournament like their whole year. It's 5 events, possibly 6 or whatever. For me, I fish right now. I used to fish like 40 a year, but now I probably only fish 25 tournaments a year. If I'm not fishing BFLs next year, but if they ban it in the Toyotas, that's 3. I usually fish a 4th one just for fun. And then I fish 3 in my division and then championship. So that would be 5. So I fish 25. I would not use it for 5 of the 25 tournaments I fish because I don't think they're banning it for any other division. I don't think they're ever going to ban it too much in like bigger team events. It might be a one-off here, a one-off there. But for the most part, they're not going to ban it in most team events. Because everyone's asked me, I'm like, why would they? They're not doing it because of their opinion on whether or not you like it or not. There's only 2 reasons they're going to ban it. One for coiners and one for viewership. That's it. And chances are there's no coiners in most of these team stuff and there's no viewership. Like it's not that big of a deal where it's so big that guys are like, I'm not watching your show because people are like live scoping. So they're not going to do it that way. So I don't see a reason why they're going to, if they do, I'm just telling you, it's going to be 50-50 from here on out. And I can tell you one thing, if you talk to us that have been doing it a long time, there might be some young guys that don't want to fish, but for the most part, anyone over a certain age they're just going to keep fishing. They're not going to be worried about it. It's not going to be, if you're really worried about, if you're the guy, I don't know too many people that stopped fishing team events because live scope came around. Most of them kept going. Chances are, if you're not going to fish a tournament now that they ban it, you want to read between the lines on this? Like, you can give us a bunch of excuses. You can give me 1,000 excuses on why you're not fishing. And I can tell you that I'm not going to listen to your excuse. I'll shake my head and I'll walk away and be like, yeah, he's afraid he can't catch him without it. 100%. You can get mad in the comments all you want to. I'm walking away, and just know I'm walking away going, he knows right that he can't catch him without it. I like what BPT's doing with where you can only use it one time. I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched a BPT event in I don't know how many years. The first one, guys. I shouldn't even get into this, but I'm gonna watch that thing. Oh, I can't wait. I've told you my stance on this though forever. That I want to see them like break it up. I want to see if some of these guys because in the comments, if you ever say this, you get attacked. But I want to see if some of these guys that are live scopers, if they can catch a fish without it. I can't wait. I want to see. Because there's nothing better than watching this period, someone catches them this many fish and this many weight, and then what happens the next period if you can or can't use it. And one of the tournament directors, it was a great comment. He was like, you want to be the best in the world? If you want to be the best fisherman in the world, let's see if you can do it with and without it. You should be able to. Like I said, I'd never stop fishing when it came out. I don't care. I'll learn it, not learn it, learn with it, learn without it, use it in practice, not use it in practice. It's whatever to me. I'll catch a fish. I'll be all right. Let's see if you can. So I'm more intrigued with this next year with what people do than ever before. Because like I said, It don't matter to me. I did hear some guys talk about like, man, well, I went out and bought this thing for this and that. And I'm like, if you went out and bought this thing purely off of BFLs, and there's nothing wrong with BFLs. I mean, I've fished them for years. So many people sometimes comment on something. I'm like, dude, I don't know if people realize, like, people are usually pretty smart. There's this thing, I got it right here. If I click on this thing, this is called the internet right there, right? If I click on it, it'll show up and you can go see MLS website. You can click in Todd Castledine and you can go do a search and be like, oh yeah, you know, that guy fished like 8 or 9 years of BFLs. So I fished a ton of BFLs. Won Angler of the Year in a couple of them, made it to the All-American. It was phenomenal. And it was great for what it was for me at the time. It's something that's not on my priority list. Toyotas are number one on my priority list. It's a little bit bigger event. But if you're going out and setting up a live scope thing for and investing a bunch of money for BFLs and go, well, I'm not fishing BFLs anymore because I invest all that money. I hate to tell you, man, but like, you do realize you just went and bought a massive boat, a freaking rods, reels, fishing, all this power poles, all these different things. Maybe you didn't spend at least $100,000 now on a boat. Maybe you got an older boat, whatever. You do realize how much money you can make in BFLs. Like, there is a limit. There's only a couple. Even if you win one, I don't know, will that pay for it? Maybe. So I mean, I wouldn't suggest anybody going out there investing that much money just to compete in BFLs. It would be something I would invest in for a lot of different reasons, for a bunch of different tournaments, for just fishing in general, but not to say, oh, well, I did it just for BFLs and I hope like compensated. Like, no offense, it's going to cost you close to $800 to $900 to go fish a BFL in general. And it's hard to make that money back unless you make at least a top 10. And sometimes there's 200 people, do the math. Like I said, we're arguing about something that I'm not going to listen to that argument either, because it costs a ton. And chances are, if you fish BFLs, I'd say 95% of people are going to lose money at the end of the year doing it. And that's not a knock on BFLs. It's just a knock on if you fish smaller tournaments, your overhead cost, your general cost of your boat and your gas and everything is the same as mine. The only thing that's different between me and you when I fish a Toyota is my entry fee. But I also can make about 5 times more money than you can. That's why it's about 5 times more money to fish them. But then it's easier for me to cover my other cost. It's basic math. So I'm interested in all this. I can't wait. I still don't know if they did it or not. I'll be honest. I keep on seeing stuff and I'm like, oh, did they already do it? Or did they not? I don't know. And by the time this video comes out, they might have already done it or not done it. But I'm just telling you, I can't wait. I want to see what happens. I'm interested in all this stuff. Because like I said, yes or no, whether they have it or not, it ain't coming off my boat. And for all the people that are like, what are they going to do? Like, I'm not taking it off my boat. This is the best. I'm not taking it off my boat. I'm like, yeah, neither am I. I'm just going to twist that little nozzle, pull that cord out. We just take the cord out. We got a co-angler in the back. Co-angler can look up there and go, hey man, this guy won't stop staring around, moving his trolling motor, throwing exactly where, yeah. He's gonna know if you have it on. That's what they're there for. That's why co-anglers and boaters have that relationship, is that they marshal each other. So yeah, we're already supposed to be watching each other, making sure guys follow the rules. So yeah, we're not gonna have to take it off every single time and take the transducer off. No, if they made me do that, well, yeah, that I wouldn't fish. They made me take the transducer off every day. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'll unplug it. I'll tape it up. I'll put the cord so far up in the air you can see that it's not plugged in. I don't care about that, but I'm not taking it off. They're not gonna make you do that. They're smarter than that, guys. So we'll get more into this, because I'm sure there'll be people with 1,000 different comments and 1,000 different, and it'll all be about them. But it's not always about you all the time. They've got a business to run. They're trying to figure this out. Let them try to figure it out. Guess what, too, guys? If it does horribly bad this year, if they got rid of it, just in the BFLs, they can fix it the next year. They can reinstate it if it goes that bad. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't, but like I said, it's not going away from fishing. Not all of it. It might go away from it in certain little events. Like I said, does it affect me? Not really. I want to let y'all in on a secret. I knew how to catch fish before that thing. And I still know how to catch fish with or without it. With and without it. And I will to the day I die. So it's not a big deal to me, one way or the other. It's just not coming off my boat. I can tell you that much. I like it too much. It's fun at times. I can tell you the other day when I went out, man, I smashed on him doing it. And then I got up on the bank in a foot of water and smashed on him doing that way and had a blast doing that. I will go do either or in the same day. And I'm about catching some fish. So it don't matter. And it's amazing to me too when I make these videos. Like if I make a live scope video, which I'm starting to do, read some of those comments in there. Every once in a while you get these comments about, man, learn how to go catch a fish. And I'm like, I think I got 698 videos or something. And I think 3 of them are about live scope, or 4 maybe. I think I've done just fine without it, catching them. And yeah, I'm going to make some, like I fish. I'm going to try to, I've talked about everything within the industry. I'm going to talk about it too. If I figured out how to catch some fish on it, I'm going to go show y'all. That's what I do. I try to do. And then I make some of these videos and freaking try to just blast on people because it's funny. And I like to troll people too as well. All right. I got some work to go do. I've been gone at the Strike King home office for a couple of days, trying to make a bait. So, see y'all.